Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at my Urshifu, which I fully maxed out and finally got the 30 raids done for it. We're going to have the single strike version here, I think it's called, where we're going to have the dark typing on it, which also, yeah, as you're going to see here, it's going to be a very expensive Pokemon to build. A lot of Rex L candies went into this Pokemon, a lot of normal candies went into this Pokemon. But it's a promising Pokemon. In the current meta, I think it's number 8 on PvPoke. It is going to drop quite significantly as soon as you're going to have Zacian around, but any kind of Pokemon going to drop quite significantly as Zacian is absolutely busted. But it is what it is. We're going to take a look at this Urshifu here today and talk why maybe the dark version is not the way to go as well. But before we can do that, we kinda want to talk about today's sponsor. Quick thanks to today's sponsors, Eldorado.gg, the safe and easy marketplace for in-game trading. Whether you're looking for game accounts, items or gold, Eldorado makes it simple. Just choose what you need, pay and get your order delivered instantly. No hassle, no stress, and every transaction is protected by a trade shield. All sales are verified. And if something goes wrong, you are covered by their money-back guarantee. Plus they offer a 24/7 live support, so there's always someone ready to help. Use my exclusive link here in the description and in the pinned comment, or enter code Jonkus at checkout to get an exclusive discount on your first order. If you want a smooth and secure experience when trading in your favorite games, check out Eldorado.gg. You'll be glad you did. You'll find top titles on this website like League of Legends, Fortnite, FIFA or GTA 5 and many more. All of them with instant delivery options. So, one more shout out to Eldorado.gg. Don't forget to use the link and code below for your exclusive discount, and we can go right back into the video now. Moving on now into the second battle of this video. We're going to see Kyurem, or Black against an Elite. We're going to have here Ho-Oh in the lead. Ho-Oh is going to be the one Pokemon that you really want to invest in for the future. This Pokemon is going to be very important in order to deal with the new Zacian meta. You will see Ho-Oh way more commonly. I guess Rhyperior are going to be very strong as well against the new Zacian meta that's coming up soon. Of course, now GoFest is currently happening while recording in Japan. We have to see, of course, on how this is going to be when it's going to be the global GoFest and how many players are going to run Zacian then. But basically what I expect here is that Zacian is going to be the top meta Pokemon that everybody is going to run, and I would assume it's going to be basically on literally every single team because it is so busted. But yeah, again, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later on as well. This is still the old meta, the good old meta. I wonder when we're going to see the first Zacian video as well. By the way, if you are in the GoFest currently and you, still, if you haven't seen a video on Zacian or Zamazenta in this channel as well here, feel free to send me some gameplay there. I would really appreciate it, but of course it's going to be just a tiny portion of people. Otherwise, I'm going to try to focus mainly for the rest of this season here to cover the new season. But again, with the sponsorship, I don't know really when you're going to see this video here. Anyway, let's take a look at the gameplay. We're going to have Brave Bird from Ho-Oh getting a shield against Palkia. Palkia seems to be a pretty awkward Pokemon to deal with on paper. We have one Pokemon that's neutral, which is the Urshifu here. We're going to have two Pokemon that are a bit weak to it, but as you're going to see as well, we can overcome those weaknesses sometimes with our team. And funny enough, I actually was able to get a 5-0 with Urshifu with this team, which is kind of hilarious. And yes, there are some weaknesses, and yes, there are going to be some things that maybe need to... I mean, I don't think actually, I think this team is going to be just better next season compared to this season, because there's going to be Zacian, Zamazenta, where you're going to have the lead for it. We have the Say-So of Kyurem, which can basically bait them out, but still punishing them with some hard-hitting damage. And then we have Urshifu in the back, which is going to be kind of great. Ho-Oh is going to be one of the better Pokemon because it just counters the Zamazenta and Zacian, of course. And some other Pokemon are going to be more common, which are mainly the ground type Pokemon, especially like Landorus as well as the Groudon, because unlike the Rhyperior, they don't have the weakness to Metal Claw, which is going to be quite important. That's why Rhyperior are going to have a bit of an issue as well, because the charge moveset of this Pokemon is going to struggle against Zacian and Zamazenta, as both of them double resist them. I guess they would more say want to start running something like Surf or something, just to do some damage against Pokemon, and sort of like Breaking Strike, which is going to be an interesting moveset change then for Rhyperior. But yeah, about Urshifu, here with the Dark typing, you're going to have some nice stab damage with the move Sucker Punch, as well as you're going to have Payback, which, as you can see here already, is doing a lot of damage against a lot of the Pokemon, and it's a very solid Pokemon to run currently. The thing is, of course, it's going to be double weak to Fairy-type Pokemon, so if you see a Fairy-type Pokemon in Elite, like we just saw here, I'm always kind of happy about that. As the opponent stops out into the Ho, we're going to be able to go for that Brave Bird here kind of straight away. We can use a shield. We need to realign ourselves. They go for the Sacred Fire, which is actually better for me than if they would have went for the Brave Bird, as we are going to be able to just go ahead and go for some hard-hitting Fusion Bolt damage. They want to use a shield and go for another charge move, which is fine by me because they can farm them down afterwards. And what we have is still the Ice type move here against the Tapu Bulu in order to knock them out. If they want to shield, they're going to be locked in against the Ho-Oh again, which is not going to be the case. They let the move go through, which kind of opens up the spot here for the Kyurem, for the Urshifu. So, why do I think that actually the other form of Urshifu, though, might be the better Pokemon to use for the upcoming meta? Reason is, yes, this Pokemon has counter here as well, but the other one is forced to run counter. Sucker Punch here generally in calculations is better than counter, of course. Sucker Punch is a better move than counter. But the thing is that you're going to have Awkward Jet on the other Urshifu. And also the water typing. Water typing allows you to resist the steel type damage that the new Zacian Zamazenta is going to have. Plus water type damage as well. It's going to be neutral against them. Of course, the Dynamic Punch is going to do still a little bit more damage than, for example, an Awkward Jet would do, because the Dynamic Punch is a very strong move. Awkward Jet is a very strong move as well, but not as strong as the Dynamic Punch. So I guess in this kind of way, it's kind of similar. But the main benefit of having the Urshifu as a water type as well is that you're going to be able to counter the counters of Zacian and Zamazenta, which are going to be fire type and ground type Pokemon, which you both hit super effectively with the water type damage that you have on this Pokemon. So against, for example, a Ho-Oh, you have actually some play, which you don't really have with the Urshifu here, as you don't have the water type coverage. That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to take down the Ho-Oh either. It doesn't mean that the Urshifu in the water type one is going to be top meta, but if you want to build one, I actually do think, personally, that the other form is going to have more play than this form. That's my own opinion. The other form here is, for example, weak to counter, which you are running with the other Urshifu, so in the mirror matchup, you're going to be able to win that matchup as well, quite easily, especially as also like Dark typing doesn't help against other fighting type Pokemon. And generally speaking, I think that water and fighting as a typing is more interesting in the Open Master League than fighting and Dark. So yeah, I do think that if you are going to play the Urshifu, I would actually recommend you to get the water version, because I think in the future it is going to be stronger. Currently, it is not the case. Also, I don't expect that calculations ever going to show that to you that it's going to be stronger, but I still think it's going to be stronger in the future. Anyway, we're going to be able to get a shield here from the Rhyperior, which is absolutely amazing. We're going to be able to take the hit here as well. Breaking Type is coming through, and we're going to be able to go ahead and let the next move go through here as well. It is going to be the Breaking Type from the opponent. Not dropping our attack at all, which is kind of nice, and we can go for the first Dynamic Punch of this Urshifu here. This is going to allow us to get the KO against the Rhyperior, allowing us to realign ourselves while getting also the Primarina in here. Interesting. We go swap out back into our Ho-Oh. They have their own Ho-Oh, and we are going to have our Kyurem here that has coverage with Fusion Bolt for the opponent. That is super effective damage coming through, coming their way. And as you see, they let the move go through. And at this point, I could even let the move go if I wanted to. But if I shield here, I'm going to be able to go for the full Found One most likely, and then still have access to Fusion Bolt. But because of the defense, the attack drop here that we got here, 50% chance, we're not able to do that. Brave Bird is coming through. We're going to be able to go for the Fusion Bolt. Now, though, against Primarina, that's super effective damage here. They mostly want to shield one of them at least. They shield the first one already, which means that a Brave Bird is going to be enough. I'm going to swap out to clear the debuff. I have the Fusion Bolt still stored, and I do think that this Brave Bird is already enough to win us this battle here against Primarina. Palkia is going to be up next. Again, as said before, I got a 5-0 with this team, but also there's team here itself is going to be weak to Palkia. Let's see on how I play it out. We're going to be able to go for a Brave Bird, get the shield, swap out here, and have a matchup now with the Kyurem, where I can use a shield here against a potential Spatial Rent, which we're going to have coming through as well, which is great for us. I go into the Rhyperior, which should allow me to still go for a Free Shock and get the final shield from the opponent, which allows us then to hit them with either a Dynamic Punch or a Brave Bird, which is going to be great for us. I can let this move go now. This is going to be very likely the breaking swipe. That's going to be the rock wrecker, it's fine. Then we can go into the Urshifu, which forces them to go for the breaking swipe instead of the rock wrecker. And also we of course have super effective coverage here, while our Ho-Oh doesn't. And so we're not in the worst spot. They're not going to get the drop here as well. I can go for the dynamic punch on the CMP tire, which we are going to be able to win here. And the dynamic punch is going to take them out. In comes the Solgaleo from the opponent. I have access to payback here, but also know that my Pokemon is definitely worth keeping there instead of taking a Psychic Fangs, even though of course it would have been a resisted hit. I didn't really want to take it. We see the shield coming up here, as I can go for a Brave Bird. I'm already debuffed by -1. I can get -3 on top of that here now again as well. I think I'm now at -4 after this Brave Bird, but it's gonna land, it's gonna do a ton of damage, it's gonna put them into farm down range. Now we're gonna see some payback time here as well for the opponent Solgaleo, as this is going to be able to one-shot the opponent with this hard-hitting move. Stab, super effective, goodbye. So yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which Urshifu you're going to go for. Both of them are fine in their own way. On paper, Urshifu in the single strike form, which we have here right now, is better. But I think that the water version is actually going to be better, like basically when you play it in the Go Battle League. Because I think just having Awkward Jet as a coverage move is just going to be the better one to go for. Here we're going to see the Ho-Oh. We're going to have a Cure with Dragon Breath coming in. That's kind of annoying here. Dragon Breath is going to be very good against this team. But we're going to have the coverage, okay, the bait move here at least, which they're going to shield up. They're gonna have to let this move go, and I have to go then into my Urshifu, hoping that I'll win this. I have the benefit that I'm going to be able to generally outspeed them with my Urshifu, but I'm not too sure if they overfarmed. If they overfarmed, I can't outspeed them. If they didn't, I will outspeed them. They overfarmed by literally the tiniest bit to have a CMP tie here, which is kind of annoying. I can still take the hit here at least. I can go for the knockout here against the opponent as well. But again, I should generally outspeed them. In this case, they just overfarmed by a bit too much. We have the Ho-Oh against us. I hope they go for the Brave Bird here. I have to shield anyway. That's very likely going to be Sacred Fire though. A Sacred Fire. Do they get the drop? They do get the drop. And that's going to make this very, very difficult for us to win. I have to get the drop here as well against the Florges in order to have a chance. I do get the drop against the Florges, which gives me a chance. But still going to be a bit of a tough one. I try to farm them down, but because of the drop, I can't. Like, actually, if I would have just got no drop onto me, I would have been able to do that. I tried to farm them down here again as well. I couldn't. And I'm going to swap out of here into my Urshifu to try to farm them down with the Sucker Punch, which works out perfectly. Allows me to go for a Brave Bird now. Is it going to be enough, though? I have all my energy that I need. Can I one-shot the opponent's Ho-Oh? I cannot, and with that, I go down. Palkia coming back in here. This is going to be an interesting matchup as well. We're going to be able to go for a Brave Bird against the opponent. So we're going to let the move go. We can take the Awkward Tail here if they are... if we're not debuffed yet, and so we're going to be able to do a ton of damage here with this Brave Bird against the opponent. If they let this go, they don't, they're going to shield. And it's time again for Kyurem to join the party here, trying to get up to a hard-hitting move. But I actually kind of panic a bit and go for the wrong move a bit too early, which they let go. But at the end of the day, we're going to get the opponent very low here. I can use a shield and hopefully fully farm them down and realign myself with that, which is going to be very important, as they're going to reveal that they're going to have a Rhyperior in the back, which I don't want to have against my other Pokemon. As you will see, we're going to get the shield from the opponent here, so they're shieldless now, and we get the attack drop as well, which is going to help us out with our Urshifu, as you can take a hit. I can let the move go. It's going to be the Rock Wrecker, it's resisted, it's a fighting type, man. Go for the Breaking Swipe next time, but maybe they're going to go for the Breaking Swipe now. As we will see here, the Breaking Swipe, yeah, coming through. They're going to get the drop there. We have the Dynamic Punch coming in. This is going to be fine. This is going to be a KO against the opponent. And we can farm them down as well. And in comes Meloetta, which we can one-shot with a payback, I think. So Meloetta is going to go down. We show which is the better mythical Pokemon. Yeah, goodbye there. What a nice sweep of Urshifu. We have Meloetta against us again here. We're going to be able to go for the Brave Birds, hopefully. But let's see on how this is going to go. We're going to be able to go ahead and get the Psyshock onto us. That's fine. We can go for Sacred Fire even. Do a lot of damage against the opponent. Our team isn't really that weak against Meloetta. I guess our Saysop is a bit weaker-ish to it, but we can take a hit now. They're debuffed already. I can go for a Brave, but I can let this move go. And if they really want to get rid of Ho-Oh that badly, they have to... Oh, they have Thunderbolt. Okay, never mind. I didn't expect that. They're going to go to my Shadow here, which is very bad for us. I go for the Dynamic Punch. I know it's going to be a double resisted hit, but I know that the opponent doesn't know my timing. And so we're going to get the shield here from the opponent, so they're shieldless now, which allows me to at least use my Kyurem for something, as I can now get the KO against the Marshadow, which is great. They have Sucker Punch. Oh, they have Counter, actually. That's even worse for me. They have Counter on their Marshadow, which is actually an interesting shout. I think Marshadow has great coverage. It could be very good for the new meta as well, Marshadow. I think it has Fire Punch in order to counter something like the new, what's called, Zacian and Zamazenta. That's going to be actually an interesting shot. Marshadow with counter, I think, is actually going to be a very interesting Pokemon. I do like the idea and does learn Fire Punch. So I could see that being a very cool anti-meta threat for the... Yeah, it's going to be able to beat Zacian and Zamazenta both, which is going to be a very important thing. So that's going to be cool. Like the idea here. Good game to the opponent. Yeah, you're going to be able to guarantee win against Zacian and Zamazenta in the 2-shield scenario, against Zamazenta actually in every shield scenario, with the Marshadow with a Fire Punch, which is really cool. So yeah, I like that idea. I never actually would have thought about it without the opponent here, but this might be another showcase there for the next time the Master comes back, when all of those Pokemon are around, because it's a cool idea in order to counter them. And anything that has like Fire-type coverage is going to be great for the next season, or Ground-type coverage, as those Pokemon are going to be basically everywhere, and they're going to be the Pokemon that you really want to counter. But yeah, as you see here, we're going to have the Iron Head. We're going to try to go for a nice charge move, but as you see, the opponent still gets the next move. But I think we might be able to outspeed them again. We're actually going to take less time to go for our charge moves. We got to catch the move here, though. We have 2 charge moves now stored, which is going to be cool. But yeah, let's see. We're going to have the full farm down. And we're gonna try to go for the Dynamic Punch here, which is going to allow us to get the damage onto the Necrozma. But I should have went for the payback, but I didn't expect the Necrozma to come in. At the end of the day, it actually maybe works out better for me, because as you see, we're gonna be able to go for another charge move. This is going to allow us to get the KO against the opponent, but we need to farm down the Palkia. We barely are not going to be able to do that. And so that is a very, very close one. Good game to the opponent here. And this is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.